So we approach the last two episodes of the Helix Station podcast. Gaming Yarns here, and I'm sure you want to know what I think is going on at Helix. This will be a breakdown of episode 5 and 6, but first hit that like and subscribe button and get notified when more horror content is coming your way. First up, old ghosts. So, flashback time. I think by now we all want to know what terrible things Percy did to suffer from the PTSD she has and why she shoots herself up with the pain-numbing gear.
I need drugs.
The episode starts with her crying and Pendergrass telling her you might as well get it off your chest. We're all gonna die here. Straight up, it's very morbid. Descriptive episode with death, fire and regret a main contributor to this flashback. So begins Percy. Helix is the diamond in the dark, the one source of life in the black, and UJC kept pushing further out and terraforming the planets. Europa Station is created and Helix becomes redundant. Percy was sent to Helix to wrangle up all the people left on the station, like cows to the slaughter. However, the station was a hideout for the renegades, a safe haven for people trying to escape the UJC's grip. It was like a desert in space. It was full of hope and survival. UJC couldn't be having this, so Percy was tasked to get them, break the disloyalty they had for the UJC, but mainly one person, Carol Keller. Carol Keller is an eco-terrorist. She's there to take the jam out of the UJC's donut. Everything was going to plan and most of the people had been evacuated. They were lining up at the evacuation point. Remember this piece of information. They were mostly all civilian communities, the descendants of the first people on Helix, all those years ago. So Percy is tracking Carol, a radicalized terrorist from Io, another moon around Jupiter, not a member of the Outer Way. She wanted to create a big problem for the UJC as they had helped destroy parts of Earth. She was the definition of psychotic. She wanted to send a message, and boy does she. Percy tracks Carol to the reactor. She had a young mother with her and her 2 kids. Carol needing help opening the blast door. It was a 2-person entry door, another piece of information to remember. Carol had 2 children gagged and handcuffed. The haunting audio throughout this drama is absolutely incredible. The kids are terrorized and chained up. They open the door and Carol starts strapping explosives to the drive. Percy interrupts and is not impressed with what's happening. The lunatic with the bombs proceeds to swallow the keys to the kids' handcuffs and tells them to strap themselves in because it's about to get a little bumpy. The eerie noise of the kids crying in the background could traumatize the listeners if they paid enough attention. Percy puts Carol down and the Carpenter drive goes boom. Radiation flows and so does the people in the above level lined up at the evacuation point. Remember I said not to forget that. The bodies shoot out into space and a cloud of corpses around the station appears. A gigantic hole is left in the outer shell, the evacuation shell. The heat regulator is destroyed. They have minutes to escape. Percy tells them to leave. "Not without my kids," the mother exclaims. "Get digging," Percy responds. And like a mama bear protecting her cubs, she shreds Carol's body apart to find the keys to the handcuffs. Ooh. Percy removes the bombs and tells the mum to leave. The descriptions of what's happening in this scene is intense and stressful to the listener. Unfortunately, Percy drops the blast door because the radiation is spreading. At the exact time the mother finds the keys, they all run to the blast door to get out, like a scene from the Crystal Maze. But remember, you need 2 people to open the door. Percy watches on as the mother and 2 kids evaporate into a blaze, permanently stamping that image into Percy's head. Percy cries and gets all sad and shit. Percy is such a cool character, tough, hard as a coffin nail, but can be emotional all at the right time. This is brilliantly written. The audio sound bites is incredible and the atmosphere that is created is just next level. So we come back to the present and after some toing and froing, Percy heads down to the Carpenter Drive with Juniper to collect the bombs that she left there 20 odd years ago. The foreshadowing in this podcast is brilliant. On that note, old Pendy gives Percy his bullets and keeps one for himself. Take note, foreshadowing. Pendergrass hears tapping and goes and investigates. We lose contact with Pendergrass.
Surprise, motherfucker!
Lennox takes Percy down. Finn. Episode 6, Meltdown. We meet Lennox, the father of Juniper. They banter about finding Lennox, and he reveals there was a prison inmate with them, and he was the body that the security bot takes down. Lennox uploads some of his core to the inmate, which he hoped would throw the BIP guards off, and boy did it, because they all thought he died. They kiss and make up and let Lennox know he is a dickhead because Big Mouth escaped, infected everyone, and how there is a race of radiated freak shows on Helix called Gummers. Lennox is blamed for Helix, and so he should be. Such a dick. Pendergrass says gummers are coming and they have all turned into biofudge. Percy gets a little wobbly as she needs a fix.
I need drugs.
Addiction, not fun. After mugging Lennox off, they open the blast door and the radiation bellows out. It's time to make Helix go night-night. Percy sets the timer and trips out with voices and hallucinations, and good old Kane adds his 2 cents. Great timing, buddy. They run, infected gummers turn up. Percy starts shooting, puts them down, let's go! Percy hears Pendergrast over the speaker and he decides to sacrifice himself so they can get off the ship. Aw, such a sweetheart. Character growth and arc comes full circle. He starts off as an arrogant dick, but changes to match what's happening around him, to finally sacrifice himself for the greater good. Beautifully written and well performed. The elevator starts up, bullets flying everywhere, ends with a splat, with Gummer guts dropping through the elevator onto Percy. What a feeling, and what a sound effect. The team return to running, of course, and Pendy officially gives up after being surrounded. He goes out with a bang. Remember that one bullet? Mwah. Survive now, cry later. More foreshadowing. I just can't get enough of this. It's brilliant. The unlikely trio get to the ship and more bullets fly. Tensions are high and our poor girl Percy has her eye slashed out.
He slashed my fucking eyes!
Ooh, that sucks. The gummed up biofudge are surrounding them. Uh-oh. Lennox boosts off and flies that boat out of there. Helix gets blown to smithereens and officially becomes the carbon in the dark. Huh? See what I did there? After navigating around the mines and Pun Central.
Did he navigate around them?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, good. Because I'm going to be of no use spotting any.
Percy goes to the medbay. But something is on the ship. You didn't think this episode was over yet, did you? You guessed it. Good old Metzger. Percy, the blind beast, goes to take down Metzger. The lights are turned off, so they are blind together. Jeez. She gets a weapon and takes on Metzger. Alien much? Ripley vs. Xenomorph, end of the first movie? She fries Metzger the biofudge like sticking a jumper lead on a toad. Percy dies in Juniper's arms. Aww. And Lennox and Juniper fly off into the sunset. But first, Juniper decides to go meet the Outer Way and cries now that she has survived. The end. I hope everyone enjoyed my deconstruction of the podcast. I had a blast listening to this. It was incredible. I highly recommend to anyone who enjoys audio dramas. It doesn't really have anything to do with Callisto in the big scheme of things, except a few name drops and things like that. It stands on its own 2 feet, and it's an awesome side story for the Callisto Protocol. I rate this 10 out of 10. The only way it could be better is an animation to go along with it, but it's so engrossing, you don't really need visuals to think about it. This will be my last Callisto-orientated content for a while. On to Dead Space next, as the remake is just around the corner. I hope you enjoy my future content about Dead Space and its remake. Up next, why was Dead Space so scary? Also, till that is out, check out these reviews I did a while ago, but still horror related. Peace out.